colleagues. We at some point raised up in Kenema, went to school, take some lessons together to Travel College before they left Russia for go study. I know somehow. So I think this government, one of the finest ministers who they ever get now, Timothy, for so put on the bench. I mean, I think he rings a bell. Now, Fantamadi is a seasoned economist. And Fantamadi do something recently. I wonder, I mean, why he do that? Because
but you know, say, now that you mentioned Fantamadi,
yeah.
You know, say, for the last 10 to 15 years, Fantamadi probably could be one of the finance ministers that we don't take the longest in our office day. Yeah. For instance, even inside Ernest in team, it be the hire and fire. No,
somewhere come and spend considerable time at the Ministry of Finance.
Each 5 years.
Considerable time at the Ministry of Finance.
Because Fantamadi almost 5 years.
No, Fantamadi, I don't think they don't reach 5 years because there was JJ Safar. After JJ Safar, there was Dennis Vandi.
Yes, but then they take short time.
And then Fantamadi.
So this is not unique. So at the time I say this is not unique to SLPP government or Mada government.
Anytime we country change ministry, because the Minister of Finance, anytime they change them, the Minister of Finance now only supervise the bank governor. Now the principal financial advisor to the president. So for any time they change that, it means the economy not did well. And anybody will they come now for can salvage the situation. But Fantamadi quite recently, before I lose my thoughts, they go read supplementary budgets in Parliament. That supplementary budget, the way Fantamadi go read, I noticed most of the things the way Fantamadi say in the speech, they don't expend already. And not also supplementary budget for me. Supplementary budget, now budget will they present to Parliament after the main budget, for sure say government still need for incur some expenditure, but they need parliamentary approval. But not to after we don't spend. They go present them. I mean, it is wrong. You don't do that. So I be the one that say, is this Fantamadi? And again, we all know, say, government they do on economical expenditure. When economists say on economical expenditure, now expenditure will not get value for money. Lord say, one of the reasons we McDonald's and cut funding, if they give money for feed Sierra Leone, they give money for free quality education, schools and they grumble for subvention, teachers and they grumble for school learning materials, then they grumble for the approval of small teachers. The health sector, they grumble for the approval of more nurses for give them PIN code. But governments, they travel frequently, almost all the time. We quantify that money what they use for travel. If I don't address some of them sectors, and they don't know themselves go vex. We need to know that clearly. So the issues are many.
Okay.
They are very many.
Okay, so before I come to Imran, I will just want to touch small on the size of the President Mada in cabinet. We all know, say, when President Mada will be the campaign prior to 2018, he say it will reduce the wage bill. He say it will get a sizable cabinet, and so I get this report now. We show say like for instance in 2018, the budget projected wages and salaries, even they at 2.7 trillion. That are the old loans, and inside President Mada bill in own term.
No. 2018 and President bill in own term. Now the real budget 2018.
Okay, so let us say the goal.
We own budget in 2017.
What I take this for you?
Trillion.
Look, I take this for you. Okay, we now left at 1.8 trillion.
Yeah.
So President Mada bill taken to 2.7 trillion initially,
yes.
And then now that we don't cancel this new loans, new loans. Now we talk about 7.9. Yes.
So 7.9
billion will go be like a trillion in the old loans. So what thing you take?
Now the truth of the matter is, bloated wage bill. A large.
So why you think that it affect
it affect in no small ways. It affect in no small ways. The truth of the matter is, we APC didn't just get a budget. We no matter what we spend at 1.8 billion, 1.8 trillion, 1.8 trillion. Government be say President bill na 19.1. He say we APC they spend like donkey sailor. Sabi sailor, somebody waiting at sea. We aim for maybe for they drink, the check. I mean, he say that's how they spend money. You understand? It's a way income if he's given the opportunity to serve. It cuts down on the wage bill, it reduce cabinet, it reduce foreign missions, he been make a lot of promises in 2018. But now the contrary, when President Bio come, in fact, he appoint more ministers. He create more ministries, departments, and agencies. He create more foreign embassies and missions. And he ensures he bloats the wage bill. Now, the figures are very correct. In 2017, we left her at 1.8 trillion, when at 6.3% of we country GDP.
GDP, yeah.
You understand? Now in 2026, it is 7.9 trillion. You understand? 7.9 billion new loans, old loans trillion. This particular one, when you look at them, I mean, na boku money that day.
46.4%.
Yeah, the GDP. When at 46 point something GDP, and then they very bad for country. So I think say you come up about it. This is the wage bill no more. Count to the budget. Landing at the wage bill, the budget. We side we been left and who side they now. If you take a look at them back, you go see say it's too much.
Okay.
You go see say it's too much. So when you look at all the things and you see say it's a failure. Now, not only the appointment of minister they salve the situation. If the cabinet size continue for the like how it day, foreign missions continue for the like how it day, recurrent expenditure not reduce, the budget not reduce, the wage bill not reduce, the same problem will continue for occur. So it is not about appointing no ministers or dismissing old ministers.
Okay.
Again, even in the appointment, yeah. Now for let a finance minister can't try for study the economy, let know for waiting as it could and how it operates. Let it relate properly with. If you not take time, you open a floodgate to criminal enterprise. If you not take time, the person where they appoint now NIA, this person be done in a customs, not only person in a NIA. Now customs have been there, and recently we see the kind of the theft, financial misappropriation where they happen at NRA. So you take somebody who be done in a custom, you can't say let be director general. If not told they call the head of NRA.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, things say there will be a turnaround overnight. It is going to be very difficult. So me, I think say it is not about removing Timothy. It is not about removing Fantamadi. It is about the gains where this government will make in the next couple of months. Okay. But again, the people that will they appoint. Yeah, let me conclude on this. I know we'll let it brief for the one that will they appoint in them positions and they Rado Soare. I mean, from opposition in contribution to the SLPP and in stewardship and Ministry of Information to Labor. But where the chief minister will they do performance appraisal and can last. Rado Soare and I put last. Suppose we can last by performance appraisal. How you go to appoint as Minister of Foreign Affairs and International? Okay,
Minkailu, come back to
No. Rado Soare say in a performance appraisal specialist, he says so the chief minister misinformed the figures and the analysis be wrong, and president, he don't corroborate Rado Soare in assertion. Say in fact, it not been last. In fact, I can't force, it is the opposite. I make it the foreign affairs.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Imran, I know you want for jumping on some of the things that we Minkailu just say.
Where he say an honorable comment about Khalifa Kabbah, I thought I was going to give him one history lesson. But it looked like I can forget many history lessons now. So
make it brief.
I can forget many history lessons. I can make it very brief. And that's some of the benefits where some of food they bring can.
So what if I'm not interested in those lessons?
Well, the public will consume them obviously. Now make it there. And that are some of the benefits there where some of food they bring can to the conversations there. Right? Because there's a certain history, context and perspective where a much younger folk, no disrespect to him, right? Minkailu, a much younger fellow, no go get and no go for bring to the conversations there. And so it is good that he's here with me, follow for temper this conversation, situate them correctly, and let us set the right context and framework for getting conversations there. He mentioned IMF and say IMF get conditionalities. Minkailu, Sierra Leone joined the IMF in 1962.
You've not even been
No. I can't to that day because that day need for now. I'll tell you the last one we talked about now, which is IMF. We joined IMF in 1962, and ever since we joined the IMF, we'd always get which we call IMF conditionalities. You touch on an important point and raise the question. Say if all the things that are new now, if none of it don't happen before. And I'm sure you're talking about IMF in as much as you're going to talk about other things them equally. And IMF done there since 1962. We don't get so many IMF conditionalities. The early conditionalities have been structural adjustments. That was in the 1980s, Minkailu. Not and don't know, right? So that we go other side.
I don't need to know
where
that.
you talk,
On that note.
The second one,
about IMF. I understand IMF, World Bank, Bretton Woods institutions. I understand that they don't do that.
So add this now to you diets. The second one was post-conflict conditionalities. That was 1998 to 2000. And we now get PRGF and ECF era, which is 2001 to 2023, moving onwards. Then they talk about focus on poverty reduction, fiscal consolidation, civil service reform, and so on and so forth. So there is a reason why you have IMF conditionalities. You not just get them because you want to forget IMF conditionalities. Now, on Karifa Kabbah, unfortunately, you've been there primary school, so you're not going to know about Karifa Kabbah. The good fortune when we get now that I know the family very well. I attended school with a younger brother, Kamin Kabbah. Yeah, we went to international school and then went
in professional.
Met default in geen.
That's the point I'm coming to. That's the point I'm coming to. So he has a certain discipline based on his family history and orientation.
Because you can't but people anything say that because the president's very party.
Oh no! Look.
So take us through his back. Let get his background.
His Excellency the President has many friends, right? Not all of his friends in the cabinet.
Yeah, but what's in a qualifying background?
We have to note that he's an accountant, qualified, who has
Is he a chartered accountant?
Who has served in government before. We don't get the experience of which he look like for serve the people of this country in that position. We've been there as Secretary of State, right? And get some achievements then they go in the private sector, right? Don't do well in the private sector. And so, interestingly enough now, if you're
the private sector, what have you been doing at the private sector before the appointment?
Karifa Kabbah has owned many businesses, right? He's owned many businesses. He's been into mining before. Private businesses, the way it's set up, where you employ people, them, and so on and so forth. So he understands the local economy. He understands how it works. Yeah, he got the requisite skills and experience and qualification for serving that position there. But look, ultimately, I think there is no way anybody that come into government without the necessary transferable skills or that particular skill set there for serving that position and capacity. You talk about bank borrowing and how much money, and the fact that donor support are reduced by 70%. You ask an important question, my sister. You say, where's the evidence? There has to be some data to suggest that donor funding has subsided by 70%. You should be able to. So when we've been going to the elections in 2018, when the international community, the World Bank and the IMF pull out a statement, say they don't tap funding. That was clear evidence. It was evidence-based. We'd not be just to go around, they tout and talk and say, they don't stop funding and all that, because it was written down. As we sit here speaking, His Excellency the President will know say to attract over $1 billion, right, for energy and infrastructure. When he went to Vienna and post-Vienna, right, for a roundtable summit, we know say it don't attract money, right, for plenty of private sector programs then. Now, we're not able to attract a lot of private sector investment in this country, including the Nance Energy and all of them projects in there, right? Millennium Challenge Corporation, that project is still ongoing and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of investment. And so I don't think it is an accurate picture for suggest, with all of which we see, which has been funded by the private sector and the international community, IMF, World Bank, and all of them private financial institutions. Now, for now, sit there and say something to the contrary. It is okay to say it, right? But you also have a responsibility, and that's the question you raised. You also have a responsibility for coming out now. Oh, here's the facts. These are the data. These are the statistics. These are the statement that we're doing and they don't pull for substantiating to talk. Otherwise, it appears as if it's what you call mischief making, and empty talk. Just like we talk, say there was a report card where them pulled where Minister Soare been take last part. And my own response to that is simple. They drag me down any rabbit hole, right? For go begin, they help you for create mischief. If you want to create mischief, you're on your own for this program and for the rest of the program. I will not be part of it. But more fundamentally, I think in terms of written His Excellency the President in Big Five aspirations, right, on energy, on food security, on employment, on public sector reforms, yeah, on education, consolidating the games, on healthcare, maternal mortality, infant mortality, and so on and so forth. The number of hospitals. Just the other day, I talked to somebody, tell me, say, they had to go to Kono because of the excellent nature of the medical infrastructure in Kono. I hope you understand. And I don't see firsthand a lot of Guineans now are trooping into Sierra Leone for can get access, right, to a healthcare system, right, and facilities. What am I saying? We're breaking new grounds. We're achieving things, and I think, in a way, probably I don't think it's even a concession to a point. I just think we have to be able to tell our stories.
So the question
of this government, of this president, in a very beautiful way.
The question about people and they ask now, like, why fix something that is not broken? For instance, Minkailu did mention something about Timothy Kabbah, and they talk about what you know and what you think that Timothy Kabbah don't do. Of course, he talk about Rados Wari and all. So, for instance, if the people are already did it, they actually work and they actually deliver, and President Mada be actually satisfied with what they do, why change them? When whoever therefore come back, therefore can start kind of afresh, understanding certain things like Minkailu mentioned the Asikuda. You know, not only because of the existence of Asikuda and Barcelona making the aim for detect Baku forward where they go on NRA and other places. So for that somebody can now and can begin study down there all over. Why pull somebody where they already gets knowledge of that one day and we just they move forward? Why just start all over?
So Geneva within the NRA gets a very rich menu, right? Academic menu, and also a very rich experience, right? From the Ministry of Finance to NRA, now as Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. The gentleman where they come inside, Abu Kane, made a call super gents. So the turned over in the Football College, now they initiate me, a gentleman's quarterly club. Here's my point. Ever since he finished Football College, right, for donkey years, he done the NRA, now they done the work. So he has what you would refer to as institutional memory, history, and context since the inception of NRA up until now. If there's anybody, or there are very few people you could point and say they done did it for all them period they are, Abu is one of them. I hope it's so. So he hasn't replaced, His Excellency the President hasn't replaced Geneva with an unknown quantity, right?
But what would you say for Fantamadi in Fantamadi's case?
Fantamadi, look, to be able to be an accountant, a financial advisor, as he says, principal financial advisor to His Excellency the President. For me, every other minister is the principal advisor to the President in a particular sector. So that's not a novelty anyway. Anybody who comes into that role, you cannot take a medical doctor who's a surgeon specialist, who has no financial and accounting background, and suddenly just bring them to the Ministry of Finance and expect them to work. That's not the case. You have to have basic, right, requirements and skill sets to be able to serve. Now, one of them professional ministries there, we're not just to bring anybody come. And I can assure now, and this is something you can take to bank, right? You take it to the bank and you can get a loan on it again if you attempt for Gov't and that Khalifa Kabbah has the required skill set for serve as Minister of Finance. Otherwise, His Excellency the President, nothing for them put on it. He talked about the economy and said the thing where they do well now the price of cocoa, not the world markets. That's one of the reasons why we talk about diversifying the economy. So we do not only need to rely on gold and diamond. We can talk about cocoa, we can talk about cacao now, we can talk about coffee. And if cocoa is doing well, why not? You focus more. That is what diversification means in actual sense. So if for anything, it shows to point that something is working, right, with regards to a government attempt for diversify the economy. And that is why we're doing just that. Now, on the size of cabinets, let me just make this point.
Let's talk about the size of cabinet.
Let me just make this point. And I have given 2 history lessons to him.
Oh, you've not given any?
This is the third one now. So
I'm going to respond. You've not given any.
I'm delighted you have a pen and a book, and as you see for the scribble. The one there I can give them pro bono now, will come on IASO. Well, I'll give this one now. I'll give this one now on the size of cabinets, my sister. Let us go back in time. I just don't get on the history of the IMF and IMF conditionalities. Let us go back in time to the early days in the post-independence and those early cabinet formation. And Lord Doam transition period by period up until the late President Ahmed, Kabbah, President Momo, and so on and so forth, President Ernest by Koroma. We have seen the slicing and dicing of ministries that evolve over time. The first cabinet makeup, interestingly enough, when I check the history, no worry, you don't need to check the history, that will give you. The first cabinet makeup, I think it was about 9 cabinet ministers. And I think there were 1 or 2 without portfolio, something like that. That was after independence.
So you say the cabinet to continue for grow from
naturally
government to government.
So there is a natural.
Nothing said this particular one very significant.
No, I know they continue for grow. My point is that is a natural evolution as we move from one decade to the other, from one century to the other. The aims and aspirations now of countries and nation states around the world, consistent with sustainable development goals, they give cause to evolve over time. The first cabinet makeup, interestingly enough, when I check the history, no worry, you don't need to check the history, that will give you. The first cabinet makeup, I think it was about 9 cabinet ministers. And I think there were 1 or 2 without portfolio, something like that. That was after independence.
So you say the cabinet to continue for grow from
naturally
government to government.
So there is a natural.
Nothing said this particular one very significant.
No, I know they continue for grow. My point is that is a natural evolution as we move from one decade to the other, from one century to the other. The aims and aspirations now of countries and nation states around the world, consistent with sustainable development goals, they give cause to cabinet for evolve.
Let's talk about that.
I can give you a perfect example.
Okay.
You had the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And that was led, I think,
I've spoken for a very long period of time.
No, at the watch time, Minkailu, almost the same time I
We'll come to you, Minkailu. No Gumbo. We'll come to you.
So what, Imran Sillah will talk about right now. Now that you mentioned the evolution of these cabinets, don't talk about the overlapping ones. For instance, in Freetown now, we get resident minister. We get resident minister. Now Freetown.
We got Minister for Western Area.
You get me exactly. So
That's
we get Adekunle King as minister for Western Area. They don't shape the Ministry of Social Welfare, Children and Gender Affairs. Now we get 2 ministers. You get ministries, then we get 2 deputy ministers. You think say it necessary? You don't think so this just they give you some bloated wage bill where we not even need?
It is absolutely necessary.
Minus the ministries, even the agencies
and the agencies and departments and
just give me
diplomatic missions as
just
well.
give me a prompter.
Okay.
Because this cabinet conversation.
I'll give you 2 minutes on this because I need to go back.
This cabinet conversation naturally lead to the wage bill we also mentioned. So just give me 2.5 minutes. Let's tie it up together. Right now, look, every government getting aspiration. Kabbah been get Dr. Alpha Tiwi as the Minister of Youth and Sports. I hope you understand. And somewhere along the line, then we get for separate the 2. The Ministry of Youth, Minister separately, and the Ministry of Sports, Minister separately, followed through by Ernest by Koroma, right, in government, and so on and so forth. Now, with the aspirations of this government, we have found it necessary, right? His Excellency the President has found it necessary for get the kind of cabinet makeup for help for deliver, right, on the ambitions and aspirations in the manifesto assembly campaign, but now contained in the medium.
So, you think that appointment strategies don't pay off?
Oh, absolutely. And now to the wage bill, because it's something they keep talking about, and I've always asked the question, honest and candid question, for which I don't ever get answer for. I said somebody, because they create the impression now to the public as if, and they have tried and failed, because then leading up to 2023 elections, and they lost and woefully, yeah. Then they turn back again, and that's not going to work. It is going to be on them to give that explanation. Now, you talk about teachers wanting more equipment and PIN codes, so you talk about nurses wanting more equipment and PIN codes. You talk about other sectors that will need more equipment and PIN codes. Now, all of those are on on which you could call the consolidated revenue.
Yes, but Imran, ABC will tell you, say, they said we get them needs and then do them to them, but then still maintain.
They did not. Minkailu, I don't know if you be aware, Minkailu, God rest in soul in perfect peace.
The teachers, ghost teachers.
Ghost teacher, then say done.
Yes, but
so
still they employ more teachers.
No, they were replacing. There's a difference between replacing and employing. These are two different things. If you lost 500 teachers then with a reach retirement and you put 500 back, you have not employed new teachers. So
I take you back. So during the APC term, of course, now this where APC come, I think almost the teacher then 200,000 or 300,000 by then. But then one APC by the time APC they left, teacher they earn like more than $130.
No, not to 27.
27,000
no, 27 leons. Now leons 1,000. So they're going to take Okada 20 leons. Now that kind of money.
All right. Okay. So by the time APC they left power, then left the teacher, then they earn. I know this because I get my family members the way that teachers. So I then left teachers and they earn more than $100, like $130 around that range day. And now I can tell you, say teacher then they earn way less than that. Then they earn like $80 compared to then 10.
So you're doing a disservice to the conversation.
Okay. No, I just want for people clear on this.
No. I will tell you which make I feel so you do a disservice to this conversation. Let us peg the conversation.
I have to have the back.
Okay, so Imran, I want to come back to you.
Let us have this conversation. Let us have this conversation around the leons, right? And then you be able to appreciate the percentages in terms of increase, yeah, for teacher salaries.
But you know the dollar, they influence all things.
I'm not doing it as against the dollar. I'm doing it as against the leons.
Okay.
I'm a Sierra Leonean. I think I want to fellow Sierra Leonean for peg and get this conversation around the leons. Okay. Number one. Number two. Minimum wage don't go up progressively.
Yes, but what in the minimum wage can buy now? The one wage, minimum wage, they be for purchase center and they way more than now.
Look on.
We can tell you this because I'm a woman at the Go Market.
Oh, me said the Go Market, my dear.
Oh, okay. We'll talk one day.
I go Kutoro.
Okay.
PC and Sons now Kutoro. If you go inside the apartment, they have $15. They buy there $15. They go inside the market. Then they sabi me. I should say they know me pass you.
Okay.
Right? Because me and then I
okay. So my can't they come back to you.
Just lastly, my sister. There are two separate conversations to have around the economy.
Okay.
One has to be, right, and that is something APC never feel comfortable forget. It just has to be the availability of essential commodities.
Go to Minkailu now.
And the other, we can come now and sit down and talk about those price within economy.
I'll come back to you.
And also factor into that conversation, finally on the final note, factor into that conversation, they say, then prices and they significantly low candle like the price of bag per rice, the price of rice per bag, and the price of onions.
Minkailu, you can jump in.
Yeah, thank you very much. I go on for when is this particular half of the conversation for say. I don't want to deviate from the topic.
Yes.
The conversation for say, the impact where this will show on governance. Notwithstanding the fact, say, me believe, say, the one that we remove for replace these new ministers that we don't get, we are very competent. We go only feel the impact if the prices of commodities go down. I mean, fuel come up from 40 and 35,000 or 35 leons, it come down to 18 leons. I mean, when you compare the price to other countries within the sub-region, we basic commodities them, like what Imran said, they go market, they doing APC them. We left pepper 1,500, 15 leons. We now have 15 leons for pepper for a cup. We be left oil 2 leons. We now been 2,000 a day.
Pepper now 15 leons for cup.
Yes.
Now 15. That then I got even go market.
I buy 10 cups on Saturday at 7 leons per cup.
Now,
Imran, please let me make a point. Let me make a point, please. Now I'm talking about what I'm saying.
15,000.
You know how much they send me the call? What's kind of pepper you should buy?
I'm not the buy pepper by call.
No, but Imran, allow me to ask my back. No, I don't want to interrupt. I was taking notes.
Imran, interrupt.
Waterloo, 7 leons per cup.
I was taking notes.
Actually, yes, Imran, interrupt.
Doing APC term, egg, 1 egg will be the BAM 7 leons. Now egg now 6 leons. 6 leons.
I don't understand. If you buy 7 million, now na 6 million. That means they don't go down.
No, wait a minute. Now I can call her 7,000
yesterday, 5 millions.
Okay.
7,000 leons. Do you own 10?
700 leons, then 10
okay. Yeah, it not be reach 1,000 leons.
Okay.
700. Yes, 700 leons.
But you know, say don't count on?
No,
5 leons.
No, I cannot say 5 leons. Say from 7 leons to for 700 to 5.
So many thousand price of egg.
No, Imran, allow me to make the point. I don't want to be interrupted.
Imran,
please.
Allow me.
I will take it out. I allow you now.
Imran, please. No, interrupt.
Let's have a very fine debate. Now, let's forget about the market price because you know, the one that said when they listen, go be in the position for no waiting at the cost of living now. The ordinary salary, know. In fact, they have to go the one per Imran said, then go all show the outside buy and 7 millions. Then they say go buy and they waiting the egg. Now, the pepper. Now, they talk about IMF, you talk about other things that they can't respond to because I get a rich history on IMF because of my background, governance, yeah. But he talk about no proper and not give any proper account about Kerifa. I don't like for talk something where I don't get much knowledge about. The only thing where I be expect Imran for tell me what Kerifa don't achieve and what put her in a better position for the more than Fantamadi. Where they don't get this opportunity for serve. He only tell me about his family, his brother, and then go college, and then go school. That is not what I was expecting. So even if they say they can't give me a history, it will give me the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, he also have the, I don't know, did they last now with them pull and can go labor so. A lot of people below the grumble say Napoleon, the Secretary General, he don't have 2 terms as Secretary General, they need Falaba and Kwenadugu support. You know, they have been deprived. At the end of the day, they are appointed now. At least towards the end of their tenure, they say, Paddy, can't go under now. Me brother Oman Bangura from Tonkolili, a lot of people with the grumble say, Oman, don't work. Then we don't pull on a Ministry of Youth. They bring her as Deputy Director General, I don't know, too, now Nasit. So they fix people now, based on the fact they then get for going to elections.
Okay.
All what they do now, not for deliver again, now for satisfy them political thirst for power.
Minkailu, I also want to make you just do your part in short one time because time not enough.
Well, you don't give man all of the time.
I say about 15 minutes.
Now, I don't talk about education. Yeah.
Okay.
If they come here, if they talk about me uncle, Minkailu Bar of blessed memory, we will come out on Kolidi. People don't know say we are people that we smart, we intelligent, we thorough in everything what they do. The number of ghost teachers that we've been doing, now that's
come on for now.
We're not self-intelligent too. That the Northeast, thankfully, now they will all come out. Now then tell them they see Ghana must go, they put money inside Ghana must go. They say that they go pay, they call them pay master. When they say today they go pay in a government secondary school, who side me been day, now body home. Now that's when they see teachers in the two line, then get money inside Ghana must go, they begin an envelope. So if they get those teachers, they say that 50 teachers and something at 25. All of the balance 15 and they decide from them money then they. That's why they happen at all of the schools and they around the country. Dr. Baka now say that they pay all man account. Now they not be like. Instead of the master go take the money and Ghana must go, the account. How you go present somebody now we not exist when you don't die? You say that teacher, they know you can't sign for let open account for himself, let do fingerprints, let them get all the information. They ask one. They say Dr. Baka they run out and ghost teacher. But we will run out and ghost teacher. We almost run free education at this country. Now we pay examination fee for public examinations. Female students and the sciences not be pay fees. We increase teacher salary from 27 leons to more than $100 equivalent. We pay backlog to teachers. We make some of them buy land and build houses them. We do all that day. I go, my colleagues that will be in biological sciences, chemistry department, engineering, college of medicine, they were not paying fees. Now for college and commerce, they were not paying fees. Doing we own term. So we do everything. Even upon graduation, when you don't force degree, if you want to go do masters, government will give you scholarship back. Free for let you go read your masters. Fully funded scholarship. So Dr. Minkailu, if anybody not the commander and pray for and let continue for rest in peace, and let God continue for grant and Jana to feed house, that was the service to this country. I think him man for withdraw. Than they and pray for Dr. Ba because he do a lot for education in this country. You know.
Okay, Minkailu. Iman, in 1 minute, just give part in short.
No, wait, okay. They can't give me part in short. I'm not doing it.
Okay, just two things I for say. I hope I will do that in 30 seconds each.
Okay.
In June 2026, this I'm reading something now. Yeah. in response to something on IMF. In June 2026, the International Monetary Fund completed a third review of Sierra Leone's extended credit facility, releasing, then at this June, right, this is August also, releasing $31.72 million disbursement and approved a new $211.41 million resilience and sustainability facility. Conditionalities focus on fiscal consolidation, public debt control, and climate-sensitive economic reform. So it means we're still in partnership with the IMF, and then still they do what you call the extended credit facility, where they come every quarter.
Okay.
And that in June of this year, 2026, then release and disburse that 1.72. So contrary to which they talk, so IMF don't fold up, don't pack,
No,
don't
I don't say
go.
so.
Because
I don't say so, Imran. I mean,
if 70%,
I said they don't count down on funding.
if
Don't support. I said they don't fold up.
70% of
I said
funding
don't
to Sierra
funding,
Leone,
don't funding to
then
Sierra
what you call
Leone.
that means
70 to
they are not
80%.
essentially.
Oh,
Number two,
Jen,
and just
yes.
very quickly, I want to thank her for the correction for the Minister of Education, Youth and Sport, but precisely to my point, as I've been making earlier, that their ministries then they don't split over time. So going back since post-independence, yeah, up until now, we don't get an evolution, right, of ministries, departments, and agencies as seen fit by presidents over time. Now that make we continue to forget all of them cabinet ministers and deputy ministers them fulfill the aspiration of then current presidents.
Okay.
That's what
Now,
I'm
with
saying.
all due respect, with all due respect to Imran, yeah, donor funding for Sierra
Gentlemen,
Leone are
I'm
significantly
afraid-
reduced, particularly
I'm
from
afraid
major
that's where-
bilateral partners like the United Kingdom and the United States.
Okay.
These
I'm
reductions
afraid,
are
gentlemen, I'm
driven
afraid that's
by
where we'll
broader
draw the
overseas
curtains
aid
down
forget and
on
cuts
hot
policy
seats
shift
today.
in Western
Thank you very much for showing
One,
up
United Kingdom.
on the show. Until we meet again next Wednesday. Now, so we end this edition of Hot Seats today. Bye bye.
You can't talk about Abu Kane. The only thing we talk about, I say, you don't take donkey years na NRA, now they initiated na GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly Club, now for big college. I mean, I don't think that they have the expect for it.
No, the GQ conversation.
No, not to that have the expect for it.
No, it's to the point that I know him.
No,
and that ever since he left for the
Okay,
Imran been at the
Imran, make Minkailu making points.
No, what do you mean expect? Don't forget about the GQ side. What have they expect?
when the transition from there,
I want you to tell me what you don't do na NRA, how you don't succeed for put NRA inside a day. Waiting at the initiative that we don't bring, we make a better position for SAR as Director General of NRA. Not anything for tell me. Incapacity now go on for you don't succeed for do that day. Don't forget about that side. We come to the one way he talked about Alfauri. Say Alfauri was Minister of Youth and Sport. Alfauri never been Minister of Youth and Sport. This is the contemporary history of Sierra Leone and Sabia. Because when Alfauri was Minister of Education,
Youth and Sport.
no, it's a youth and sport. Imran,
It was education, youth and sport.
Not correct yourself now. Allow me.
It was education, youth and
Yes,
sport.
education, youth and sport. It's a youth and sport. You don't even mention education. You don't understand? Alfauri was Minister of Education, Youth and Sport. I benefit from his tutorial. He go to government secondary school at some points now. During the later days, he meets me at the SS1. He go to my school, take chalk and teach now the blackboard when he was Minister of Education.
What happened to the ministry?
Now, allow me. Later, we'll see them separate the ministry. Instead of youth and sport,
That's
now
my
Ministry of Education, Science and Technology.
That's my point.
Then get Dennis Bright now, we can serve as Minister of Youth and Sport.
That's my
you
point.
Understand now? You don't know the contemporary history of Sierra Leone. You be the American.
That's my point.
Like explain. Now the contemporary history, now so I'll explain. That old history, the way we sabi, now they keep on for the archives. I'll explain contemporary history, the governance of Sierra Leone. So we are very recount now as Minister of Education. I mean, the things that will happen during the salon be the get money, we get Sababu education. The kind of money will be the kind of the education sector, not be small. We get NAXA, we get Kanja Sise, where them be sacked na Ministry of Energy. Immediately. The money where they were eats na Ministry of SLPP. Where they eat under Sababu Education and Ministry of Education, and where they eat na NAXA under Kanja Sise, and the way come. We decide for do what we call government transition. We not do commissions of inquiry. We not do white paper for which ones they're equating and do after we transition take place. So we not elect for go that side. Now proceed to other things. I want to let the public know about this very briefly. They talk about the Leones. He talk about minimum wage, he talk about illegal markets. Now, let's talk about the loans. My sister, what to make loans depreciate now because of the redenomination of a currency. Today, we left the dollar exchange rate, it not be bars 750. You don't understand. Now, how much now the exchange rates? You don't go up to 2,400, 2,390, 380. Where they change now dollar. Now, what take happen because we redenominate money, we say that reduce 3 zeros and per this money, it devalue money. The money no more for also spend. Now, 30 billion pound sterling now used for redenominate. Now, the Professor Kelfala Kalong, now name Dande Kalong. I don't know his first name is not Kelfala. Later, when the driver and the government will resign, I don't know what happened. Not only go make video, begin the blast government. Talk all kinds of saying they advise them, then they don't redenominate the money, then go redenominate the money. So the blunder way they make, not small. The shape of the economy, the high it is so now because of the wrong decisions the way SLPP take. So it is not about appointing new ministers. You can appoint new ministers still, but at the end of the day, if you not get that minister, they will get the capacity and get the country attached for deliver, you know will get results. You talk about IMF, you say always when they talk, you know correct. We say then go talk to IMF, don't call down on. Now go now, you get what you call UK 8. You get United Kingdom, then get one of the international non-governmental organization, UK 8. Go to the website, and that's again the reference point. Take a look at the 2026 review. What you focus on, the IMF 2026 review. Ask the question if they don't cut down donor support to Sierra Leone, and see what they go tell you. When Imran did they deny me, say no, and not cut it, then go tell you plain.
I'm saying you're saying quoting your source.
No, I don't tell you the source now, yeah? Now, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, don't conduct a comprehensive review of the programs and design conditionality. And you don't look at Sierra Leone as a country specifically. I want to know that very clearly. And when they look at them, I also want to know say they don't cut down on Boku support where they be the give Sierra Leone. Boku support the way they be the give. They don't evaluate the money they want to spend, how they spend the money there, and they don't decide for cut down on a lot of things where they be the support with maternal health, education, primary health care, a lot of support where they be the give. They don't cut down the money and the money they way they be the give. Then $16 million that they cut down to $5 million instead of 16 and 5. Cut back Boku things. So when you quantify that day, then they tell you they don't cut donor support or funding by 70 to 80%. So I know they just talk vague and they talk things the way I know. We need to know this very clearly. But by and large, what thing they happen with the governance of Sierra Leone now? What thing this government they do? This cabinet reshuffle already and do so. Next year when they go into elections, by next year. And when they go into elections now, government they direct in appointment for let them get votes. Areas that we don't be deprived for far too long, where they grumble now. Now political patronage. Now they do so now. And patronage most of the time, you know,